All right, so I get my news from multiple outlets. I get my news, the two primary ones being ABC News and Fox Live Now. Um, they're not as, one-sided and uh, prejudicial as the actual Fox News is. But I just saw or heard, I can keep the radio on in the background while I'm working sometimes, and I just heard this ridiculous story that said that Kash Patel was saying how the FBI has arrested at least four men, military age Middle Eastern men, who have been actively funding ISIS drone operations to kill 300 million Americans. Right now, at this very moment, there are approximately, give or take, 342.8 million Americans, and that includes Hawaii and Alaska. So, for drones, and drones are even the biggest, baddest, bestest military drones out there. It's physically impossible for them to have a payload that would kill more than thousands of people at one time. Then when you open the article, it says that specifically they were targeting American military installations overseas. So which is it? Is it 300 of the 342 million Americans, and they would magically be able to hit the continental U.S. along with Alaska and Hawaii at the same time? Or the military bases? Because I guarantee you that there are not 300 million out of 342 million Americans who are actively serving in the military overseas or anywhere. So it is really, really important that you question. Don't just look at the headline. Click into it and read a little bit of it. It's important that you do your homework, because geographical logistics dictate that there's no way they could kill 300 million out of 342 million people, when the U.S. is scattered. And we know there aren't 300 million active military. So the math ain't mathing up there. And I love Kash Patel. I do. I love Kash Patel. I love Trump. I love their administration. They're having a rough patch right now because they're not getting their way in a lot of places. And, it can be concerning, but we expected pushback, especially now during the midterms. And I heard Snott Bessent say something very rude today. Tina Smith from Minnesota, I believe, Senator Tina Smith, was grilling him like a steak about specifically Minnesota farmers, who are struggling to get the products they need to run their farms and maintain. And she asked, what are you going to do about it? Where's the money going to come? Why is this happening? This is a real problem, because this is our food chain, if you will. And his response was really snotty. And he said, well, let me ask you this. Should Iran have a nuke? You want Iran to have a nuke? And I thought, that was really rude of him, because his statement had zero compassion for farmers who are struggling, those that may be struggling right now. And not everything that's going on in the world today should revolve around this underlying fear that Iran has a nuke or they're going to get a nuke. We've been dealing with Iran for almost 48 years. They haven't nuked us yet. I get that Trump wants world peace. I get that this is super important to him in his term, his final term. And it's important for us as well. But I'm kind of really getting weary of the high gas prices. The grocery prices are not going down, they're going up, up, up. And I know that he may not realize that Walmart is price gouging and breaking the law, just blatant breaking the law. I just saw a video about Dollar Tree where they ring up an item and routinely it is higher at the register than it is on the price tag, and that they are told that it doesn't matter, whatever it rings up is what we have to charge you, or you just leave without the item. And that's actually, I believe, illegal. If somebody can look that up for me or tell me, I can look that up too. It's truth in advertising. There are laws, federal laws, truth in advertising laws that prevent companies from doing that, retailers from luring you in with one thing, or, one toaster and then selling you something else, or with one price and then lying about it. There's regulations and laws that prevent that from happening. So they're actually antagonizing Dollar Tree and Walmart, and in particular, they're antagonizing this out of control grocery price problem as it is. But when Snott Bessent said that, it was so snotty, it was so indignant. Like his purpose is to stop Iran, but not to really care about the American people. And I'm not hearing a lot about that. I'm hearing the catchphrase, the canned response. Well, nuke, Iran can never have a nuke. Well, everybody agrees on that. But how long are the American people going to be paying prices that they are at the pump and at the register? How long are we going to put our food chain and our food source at risk so we can, rid the world of Iran? I know, and he's been every time we go on the news, oh well, it's so close to a agreement, so close, like minutes and hours to an agreement, And sometimes I sense that the Trump administration, and maybe Trump is doing it, maybe not, where they kind of treat this like it's a reality TV show. You can hear the raucous organ music in the background, and everybody's hanging for the next episode. And I get really, really tired of it, because we need an end game here with Iran. And when I hear a representative from Minnesota asking him outright, farmers are coming up to us and telling us they can't get their pesticides, they can't do this, they can't do that. They're not just affecting Minnesota, which has been hit really hard with the fraud, but it's affecting the agricultural food chain that keeps Americans alive. I'm sorry, but, this is a problem. And it's a multi-pronged problem. We've got the price gouging and the price crimes going on, just brazen crimes at Walmart and Dollar Tree and Goodwill and other places that are actually cashing in on the inflation that we have right now. We have the Trump administration not willing to come to a term that will work for everybody, and neither will Iran. Both sides are failing miserably right now, and it's getting too close to the summer season for travel, where people are not going to be able to go. And if those summer venues, tourist attractions, and summer venues lose business because people can't afford the gas to go there, or they hike their prices to where people can't afford to visit those venues, it's going to have a snowball effect that's just going to screw us. And a lot of places depend on summer is their primary income. Just like the Renaissance Festival here in Minnesota. The vendors at the Renaissance Festival, this is their entire year's income. So if inflation or some other terrible thing beyond their control dictates and affects how many customers are going to get during this Renaissance Festival season, this coming fall, it could make or break them for an entire year. And so I was kind of offended by Snott Bessent's attitude today. And I hope he gets his ass chewed out by Trump. And until next time, do good and be good.